guys, welcome to my review. This is the first reunion episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 4. It was it was very interesting. It was what I wanted out of this episode. You know, it wasn't the most dramatic reunion ever, and it definitely wasn't the worst. So, you know, it was very exciting to see. So yeah, all the ladies looked hot, especially Joyce. I thought she looked great, but, you know, that's because I'm probably a guy. But anyway, I'm going to get started. And yeah, so it starts off, they're all sitting down and they all pretty much say hello to Andy. And yeah, then Lisa says she didn't see any of it coming and stuff. So I pretty much just get straight into Lisa and Brandi and talking about with their friendship and stuff like that. So yeah, Lisa didn't see Brandi. You know, Lisa's just kind of, they're all angry at each other pretty much. So yeah, and then Lisa said, you said this morning in the tabloids that I live deep in the valley and that I filed for bankruptcy. And Brandi said, no, Kyle said that. And she like stared at Kyle and stuff. And it was just fucking confusing. I was like, what the hell is going on? Because, you know, Lisa said she didn't say she lived there, so who the hell cares? Obviously she didn't live there if she keeps saying she's not living there. Like, what would be the point of hiding if she lived somewhere? Like, I don't get it. Like, Calabasas is a nice area. Like they said, it's like the Kardashians live there. Justin Bieber, even though he's a douchebag, I don't care about him. But they, you know, they all, like, it's a very nice area. It's kind of the second Beverly Hills. So I don't think Lisa would make up. There would be nothing to hide if she was living in Calabasas because it is such a nice and respected area. So yeah, and then they were kind of getting into the, you know, you said that, and pretty much like Brandi said that Lisa said, you know, I need a passport every time. Like, I need a passport to every time I visit you because it was so far away and it was in the valley and stuff like that. And then, you know, Lisa had a good comeback and she said, you know, you kept saying you slept with my husband, and made a joke about Ken dying, or saying that he doesn't have long to live. And, you know, Lisa said, I wasn't mad at that because that was our sense of humour, that we were joking. So for Brandi to throw that back in her face, I mean, Lisa was right to say that. And, you know, Brandi's a bitch and she's just fucking annoying. So anyway, I'm going to move on from that. Then the most stupidest part of the whole reunion was freaking Yolanda. She was angry about Lisa not coming to an event, the freaking painting thing. It was a get over it, like Joyce said, and like, what was it, to Carlton, she's like, just get over it. I just felt like playing that when when Yolanda was talking. It's like, just get the hell over it. That doesn't mean she's not a good friend if she just doesn't show up. Like, you know what, I understand that you would be mad if someone texted you 2 minutes before they're meant to come, but I wouldn't think they're not my friend or they're not a good friend just because they didn't show up. It's like, she's so dramatic over that. I'm like, shut the hell up. It's just, I don't understand why it's such a big deal that she didn't come to the party. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand why she gets so angry over it. But yeah, and then she's talking about her Lyme disease and stuff, and I get it. It is sad that she has it, but I'm so over hearing it. I'm just over it. I just do not care about hearing it anymore. And she says she was sick for 18 months. Well, that's a fucking lie, isn't it? I'm sorry for swearing. I'm swearing a lot because this reunion made me angry, so I'm probably gonna. There were a few things that really pissed me off, so I'm just gonna blurt out all my opinions and stuff. But yeah, so I don't understand. Like, she said she was sick for 18 months and she was like bedridden or whatever. Like, she said, you know, her brain only functioned 5%. Obviously, it wasn't, because her first season she started filming in 2012. And then she filmed her last season, 2013. Like, she was filming that whole time. There were probably only like 6 months in between where they weren't filming anything. That's when it was airing. So she's such a liar, saying she was sick for the last 18 months and couldn't do anything. Well, we saw you on our TVs. It looked like you were having a good time, you know, pushing Ken away, saying, "Don't touch me." Like, if you were that sick, you wouldn't be able to do that. Even last season, you know, she did. She wasn't acting like sick or like so. She was sick, but you can't say you were super sick for 18 months because clearly you weren't. We saw you on our TVs. You didn't act like it. But yeah, so that was really pointless, and I was pretty much laughing when she was getting angry, and she said she nearly cried because Lisa didn't come, and it made her really sad. I was like, get the hell over it. It's not a big deal. I don't understand why these women make such a big deal out of like stupid things, and that was like I thought that was even more stupider than like the hair flipping incident. But yeah. So then Kim had her little package, and I love Kim, and she was just like with all her craziness, and you know with Kingsley, and you know her little confessionals and stuff like that. So it was. I found it fun to watch. I mean, who knows what other people thought about it, but you know. So yeah, and she said it was kind of like her best season, and you know, it was the first season we saw the real Kim. I thought like I didn't think, and they kept saying she was like more kookier. I thought she was just as kooky as she was in previous seasons. Like season 3, she wasn't as crazy, but season 4, she kind of went, and she was like a sober version of season 1 and 2. I thought. So I mean, I thought she's always been crazy, and I've liked that. It's funny to watch, you know. And yeah, then Lisa thought it was weird that she prayed near the trash can, and you know, Kim said that you know when I'm in sobriety or whatever the hell it's called. Sorry, I'm not good with English sometimes. You know, she needs to sit down and pray wherever the hell she is. So I don't think it was a big issue that she prayed near the bin. I really don't see why it was such a big deal. But apparently, you know, well, I don't think it was a big deal. They just made it a big deal. At least it just said she didn't want to be judgmental, and yeah, it was just kind of weird. But even Carl says you don't need to make up excuses because you're praying, and that's right. Why does she need to? Why does she have to? You know, justify herself for praying? She doesn't. If she wants to pray, go ahead. Everyone likes to pray. I'd probably pray next to a trash can if I had to, so it's fine. Okay, so then Kyle pretty much was scared that Kim was going to be eaten by a dog, and you know that was kind of funny. And then she says she might be getting a man soon, or you know she's getting back into shape, and now she's going after to go find a man. So good for Kim, I guess. I hope she does find someone. I feel that she is probably really lonely, and she needs to. I think she needs someone in her life that she can just talk to and be with, and that's what I think. Anyway, then they brought up the circus where you know Yolanda and Kim got into a bit of an argument. It wasn't really that bad, but I thought Yolanda was being dismissive of Kim. I didn't think Kim did anything wrong. I totally forgot about it until they brought it up because it was like last November or whatever. It was like ages ago. And yeah, it was weird because they didn't want to like attack each other because they obviously were in a better place, but it was weird to see because they, you know, I felt if they weren't friends, I felt like if they weren't all, you know, going to, because I feel like they've gone into this reunion kind of like we're going to talk to Lisa and that's it, and so they don't want to get angry at each other, apart from like Kyle and Carlton and you know Brandi and Joyce. But that was pretty much it for Kim, and you know I was on Kim team. I was on Team Kim for the you know the circus bit because you know Kim just wanted a nice day. She just wanted to have no drama, but no, Yolanda had to bring up the fucking you know tabloids or the bully thing, whatever it was, the paparazzi. So yeah, I thought she was being. I mean, Yolanda likes to stir the pot. You know, she pretends like she's all high and mighty, but she likes to get down like everyone else and, you know, be a part of the drama. So, yeah. Anyway, then we went to, like, Joyce. Sorry, I've had, like, a really late night, so it's in the morning in Australia here, so I'm kind of, like, dead. So sorry if I'm kind of, like, slow. But anyway, Joyce, you know, was the first Latina housewife of Beverly Hills. She was happy for that. And then she had her little package and she looked super hot. And I was excited to see, you know, Joyce seeing all the footage of Joyce. I really liked it. And I have to admit, she was on fire tonight. She was really, with all her comebacks, I thought she was really, really good. Like the bit when Yolanda says, kids do that, and she says, no, kids divide up, which was right. Yolanda was a kid when she divided up the team. So I mean, Joyce had a lot of good comebacks this episode, and I even saw on comments and stuff like that, people were saying, Joyce, she really, they liked her more. She did a really good job at the reunion, and so yeah, people liked it obviously. And yeah, so the bit that probably made me the most angriest was Joyce and Brandi. And the one thing I hated was whenever, Brandi said a comment, Yolanda and Carlton would laugh. And it was just so mean and untasteful. Like, it just pissed me off so much because they were really coming off like Mean Girls when every time Brandi said something, they would just have like a little laugh. It's just, I don't understand why they would do that. It made them seem like really, really bitchy women. I mean, they are, but it just pissed me off. I'm like, it's like they were like laughing that Joyce, that they were picking on Joyce. It was weird. But anyway, they talk about the hair flipping incident and where Joyce goes up to Lisa and tells her that she didn't like flipping her hair. I mean, it was ridiculous, but, Joyce had her side of the story, and I believe Joyce, and I'll probably always be on Team Joyce even if she was lying, but the reason I believe her, because her story has stayed the same ever since, like, that episode's air. I've heard her on, blogs and on vlogs and all this other stuff I've seen her, like, they've talked about it, and her story has been the same as it was on the reunion. So I believe her that, Brandi's such a liar that you can't believe anything that comes out of her mouth. And, she obviously did say that, Lisa can't take criticism because she, was making fun of her fainting in, the limo, but yet, she was saying everyone else was talking about her. But it was just, I'm Team Joyce. I mean, Joyce, didn't want to make a big deal. She told them she didn't want to bring it up on camera. And I hope we actually see that in Secrets Revealed. I hope we see that lunch, where they talk about it and they bring it up on camera. I would like to see that. So hopefully they put that in Secrets Revealed. And yeah, so then Yolanda brought it up because Joyce didn't want to bring it up on like camera because she thought it was stupid, which it was. And so yeah, then they brought it up and that's how everything started. So I mean, it was obvious that Brandi was lying, and her story has changed 100 fucking times. So obviously you can tell who's telling the truth. Anyway, and then Brandi says, Salchid's, so I can't even say it, Salchid's calling or whatever. And yeah, I was like, because she looked like an ice skater. I was like, oh, it was just uncalled for. I'm like, well, actually, she looks so much hotter than you. You look like two bumps in a cheek. Just like that guy said on Vanderpump Rules, like Tom, I think it was. Like, after he said that, I was like, holy crap, she actually does look like two bumps in a cheek. Like, she does. So it was, or maybe it was two cheeks. No, it was, I can't even, was it two cheeks and a bum or two bums and a cheek? Or a nose? No, it was two bums and a nose, or two cheeks, I can't even remember. But it was, yeah, her face is like fucked up. But, and it has actually changed a lot. Like, I was watching season 2 a couple of days ago, and she actually was quite pretty. But, like, I was like, oh, she's actually kind of hot. But now she's just, I don't even know what she's done to her face. They're like, her cheekbones are like so pointy, it's no. But anyway, they're going to make fun of Joyce because she is clearly jealous of Joyce like she has always been. Because you know what, Joyce has a great family. She has, a loving husband and, kids. I mean, Brandi has kids, but, she gets to see them all the time. And she's gorgeous and, she makes guys go crazy. Well, she made me go crazy. Brandi doesn't make me go crazy, so she's obviously jealous of Joyce. Just saying. And then Brandi said in her blog, the only difference between her and Joyce is she wouldn't settle for a small rich man. And you know what? That was just uncalled for. And you know what? We all know Brandi would marry for fucking money like she did with Eddie. You know what? There's no reason. I wouldn't normally say this, but you know what? I can see Eddie for divorcing her. I would divorce her too, She's never going to find a man. She's never going to get married again. No one's ever going to love her because she's such a bad person. And you know what, Brandi, if you ever watch this, that's the truth. I'm sorry, but if I was your husband, I would break up with you too. And you know what, I wouldn't cheat on you, but I would break up with you. And that's why you're never going to find someone. And the thing is, Michael is, as I am a media and film student at uni, I know who Michael is, and he's a very respected producer, and I didn't like her saying that. And, you know, it's just, I don't understand why she has to attack him for being a little short man. And you know what, just because he's short and little, and you might think it's ugly, he's 110 more times successful than you, and always will be. You know, he was nominated for an Oscar, like one of the youngest ever nominated for as a producer. So, I mean, and Joyce is right. She has been an actress. She was in Siberia. She was in Dude, Where's My Car? Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, one of them. And so she was obviously making more money than Brandi was, even before the show. So, you know, I don't understand why she has to call her a gold digger and stuff, because clearly Brandi is a gold digger. If someone came across to give her money, then she would take the money. So yeah, and then Brandi, you know, the comment about the black person, and I hated her. She's like, I'm like the least racist person in the world. Bitch, you wouldn't have made the fucking comment. If you weren't that racist, you wouldn't have made the comment. You are racist. Stop saying you're not racist. And even Carlton said, oh, you know, like, you can't throw labels out there like anti-Semitic and racist. I mean, what Kyle said to Carlton, I mean, it was a bit dramatic, but it was funny because it was fun to see Carlton get pissed off. But what Joyce was saying about being racist, well, it was a racist comment, so that's not throwing labels out there. She said a racist comment, and she said it a few times. She, you know, told Michael to go back, you know, to where he's from. She told Joyce, to one of the, or was it Muhammad or someone, I'm going to kill a Puerto Rican tonight. So it's not just that one time she has been racist. And you know what she said about black people can't swim, it was a racist comment, so you can't say that you're not racist at all. Clearly you are if you said it. So she just needs to sit down. And she kept telling Joyce to take responsibility. I mean, why don't you take responsibility, Brandi? I mean, obviously you're a train wreck, and I don't think you're going to be back next season. Fingers crossed. But it's just, yeah, she said it was a mistake, and people kind of, you know, she got egged, and people, you know, on the street, people were giving her a hard time. You know what? I don't feel bad for her. Do I feel bad for her kids? Yes, because her kids don't deserve this. You know, her kids haven't done anything wrong. But, you know what? As far as Brandi's concerned, they can egg her as much as they like. You know what? She should have made that comment, and she has continued to make comments on this TV show, even off, like with the molesting comment, and she thinks people are going to feel bad for her. No, no one feels bad for her. And everyone knows that she's just a crazy woman, and she says whatever she can to stay relevant. That's all. And yeah, and then they talked about the comment when Joyce was talking about her husband's penis. And yeah, I thought it was funny, but yeah, Carlton, you know, was disgusted by it. You know what, Carlton, you need to shut up, because this was like the part of the argument that, like, the Brandi and the Joyce and the Carlton bit, they all really pissed me off, because Brandon and Carlton, I can't stand them. They really piss me off. But I'll, yeah, get into more detail now. But Carlton, you know, she's making a fucking sex dungeon. Like, you can't judge someone for saying they you know, when they talk about the husband's penis, when you're making a sex dungeon. Like, and you said you fuck your husband, like, everywhere, and you can't fuck as much because your kids are, you know, at home now. Like, I don't know, she's such a hypocrite. She's so stupid in that way. Like, I don't understand, like, half the stuff she says, she does. So, and you know what? She even said her husband was hung like a donkey as well. So what's the difference? And you know what? I don't understand why, you know, even Joyce and Lisa said, you know, everyone was talking about it at the table, but they just chose to, like, obviously they've chosen just to edit it out to make it look like Joyce was talking about it. But they did say that everyone was talking about it. So, you know, Carlton and Yolanda should both get off their high horses, because they're not better than anyone at all. So yeah, pretty much, you know, they were just kind of yelling at each other. And then Carlton's like, be quiet to Joyce. No, how about you be quiet? No one wants to hear what you said. You were in. She was like in 5 minutes of this whole reunion. Like no one cared about it. You know, no one. You're going to be fired, Carlton. You're going to be fired, Carlton. Like no one cares about you at all. You're probably the worst housewife apart from Brandi. You two are the worst housewives we ever had on Beverly Hills. You know, I'd probably rather see Faye than you, Carlton. So I mean, that's saying something. So yeah, and then it was, I think that was pretty much it between Joyce and all of them. And one other thing, I don't think it's bad if a girl wants to talk about their husband's, you know, junk or whatever, because as a guy, I'll talk about girls' boobs or, you know, we talk about stuff like that. So I don't think it's trashy or stuff like that for Joyce or, you know, even any of them to talk about it, you know, with their friends. Like, I don't think it's wrong. So I think Carlton should just shut up, like always. But yeah, then Brandi and Carlton pretty much make out, and she didn't want it to come out on TV. No one cared about that bit. And then there was a dream team, and how they did divide up in teams, and you know, Yolanda was like, "No, there's no teams." It's like, sit down, woman. Just no, stop. Then Lisa, and Joyce was mad, I think, about the dream team. She was a bit pissed off. Oh, and she said about the. So I've got all my notes here, and they're kind of all scattered. So I keep looking down to see what I need to talk about. But yeah, pretty much, Joyce said that she was, you know, thought it was rude of the dream team. You know, it was just rude because, you know, Yolanda was having a go at her for not getting in the pool, but you know, the dream team thing, like she thought that was rude. So it was just, yeah, it wasn't really much. But trust me, I would not want to be on their dream team because they're just stupid. But then, yeah, Brandi said that Lisa was different. Well, pretty much the rest of the episode was just about Lisa. Anyway, Lisa was different on and off camera. And you know that she would mother her on the show, but off camera she would, you know, drink with her to like 4 a.m. or whatever. So who knows if that's true? But I mean, when you're drunk and you have a tampon coming out of your vagina, obviously you're getting too like drunk, like clearly. And you know what? Calling people fat pigs and saying, you know, stupid things. Well, obviously you do have you know, you're an alcoholic. And one thing that pissed me off was Brandi has been pissed off this whole season about Joyce, you know, labeling and Joyce calling her, you know, or Joyce calling her, you know, an alcoholic, and you know, or even when the paparazzi called her a bully. But you know, saying it's not good, it ruins reputations. But what was the difference when she called Kim, you know, addicted to meth? What was the difference? There was no difference. So, it just shows that Brandi is a hypocrite as well. I mean, they're all pretty much hypocrites. They all say something and they do it, but she just shows that, you know, she can call out people, but she's allowed to, like, she gets offended when people call her an alcoholic or stuff like that. So yeah. And then there was like the comment where Yolanda says, "I would hate to be married to you," to Joyce. I was like, really? How about you just like shut up? There was no point. Like, I would love to marry Joyce. I'll put my hand up and marry Joyce. You know, she's a great girl. I just shut up. It's like, why would you say that? I mean, I'll hate to be married to you, Yolanda. You're freaking controlling, and you get upset about fucking paintings. Clearly, you're like screwed up. I'm sorry, but you know, there was no need for that comment, and it's just so rude and so mean. I don't get it. But yeah. Anyway, Lisa pretty much says sorry to Kyle over the house comment, which she said if you guys will bond really quick if you just sell your house. And you know what? She apologized for it. She was doing the big thing, and you know what? Kyle accepted it, so they're going to move on, which is great. They're moving on from that now. So who knows if they'll ever be friends again. And then yeah, so she did actually apologize to a lot of people. I mean, not to a lot of people, but to Kyle and Yolanda. Anyway, then the fake faint came up, and well, I thought it was fake anyway. I mean, it clearly looked fake. I don't think there was like many people who believed it. But yeah, and she said that she went to doctors and stuff like that. I mean, it was just funny because, I mean, obviously it was fake. There's nothing wrong with it being fake, but I think it was fake. um, and then Andy even said, you know, the ladies are asking, can Lisa dish it? You know, she can dish it out, but she can't take it. I mean, yeah, I mean, the fake faint they're making fun of, but she has said some comments to other women along the course of the series so far that have offended people. And, you know, so who knows? I do think she can take it because, you know, with the whole Brandi thing with the husband, and she was, you know, saying, I want to fuck your husband or marry your husband. She, you know, she was okay. And then Brandi says, oh, you said the maloof hoof. Really, she's not even on the show anymore, and yet the maloof hoof still gets brought up. It's just, I think every reunion has been brought up since season 2, but why would Brandi say that? Like, Brandi hates Adrian. Like, Brandi was horrible to Adrian last season. You know, she, like, wrecked their family. I mean, it wasn't the reason they got divorced, but my opinion, she screwed their relationship, like, their kids, like, their poor kids. Like, they have to find out their mother, you know, it's not their, well, it's their biological mother, but, you know, they were surrogates or whatever. Like, you know, and yet she's sticking up for her now because she doesn't like Lisa. I'm like, I don't get it. Why would she stick up for Adrian when they hate each other? It was just stupid. It's like, Brandi, go home, you know, because she hates Lisa now, she's going to stick up for Adrian. It was stupid. Anyway, Lisa does say sorry to Yolanda for not being there as much, and yeah, that was pretty much it for this episode. And Andy thinks they're all going to be friends again, which I highly doubt, and because next week looks really good, and yeah, so I don't know. I don't think any of them much will be friends. I think this season they're changing everything. I mean, the reunion ratings, they weren't that great. It didn't get to 2 million, so I mean, they're not the worst ratings in the world, but for Beverly Hills, they could be a lot higher, and I mean, I think they will. I think they will be able to get it higher again if they change the cast. Anyway, next week, Lisa and Kim kind of get into a bit of a fight, and Brandi and Joyce get into a fight, and Kyle and Carlton get into a fight. Then Brandi is crying over Ken about just she loved him and stuff like that, and I was like, really? What, she expects them all to like forgive her, yet she's said all this shit about them. I'm like, why would you say that? It's just stupid. Anyway, yeah, so that's pretty much it for those episodes. And yeah, I mean, there's been a rumor that Faye might join the cast. I hope it isn't true. I don't think it will be true, but that's a rumor. And also, tonight they showed Shiva. They didn't have to show her, like, they had like their talk, but in one of the bits they did a close-up of her face. I mean, I think they're gonna hire her to be on the show next season, because why would they? What it would be the point of showing, like, you know, I mean, it was only for a second, but they didn't need to, you know, do a close-up of her face. Like, I think she is gonna most likely do it, because I've heard that they're trying to find people who are friends of the Housewives, and Shiva is a friend of Lisa. So it would be perfect sense. Muhammad has a massive house. It would, you know, connect to Beverly. Like, there wouldn't be more of a perfect choice than Shiva right now. So I think if they want to make this successful again, they need to get rid of Brandi, Yolanda, Carlton, and, you know, I love Joyce, but I think they might have to get rid of her too. I hope Joyce is in it as like a friend, or even I still want Joyce to be in it, but I feel like they need to bring more housewives in. It's what they need to bring. I'd love to see Camille back. I think Shiva will be in there, but they need to bring rich, dramatic people in, like people like Adrian, like that kind of rich. I don't want to see Trainwreck Brandi again, and I don't think we will. I was scared this week that we were actually going to see her in the future episodes, but I don't think we will, because there's a petition or whatever, and to get her off the show, and it is now up to nearly 6,000 sign. nearly 6,000 people have signed it. So, and I think it was Monday, it was only up to 1,000. So it's already gone up, like 5,000, things. People have signed to kick her off the show. So I just think the producers have to realize that if they keep her on the show, it's not going to be good at all. The ratings are going down because Brandi is on it. But no, her drama is not interesting. She is wrecking the show. As soon as they realize that, I think the ratings will go up. But, I think they just think that she is, the star of the show. She's not the star of the show. The show was successful before she was on it, and it will be more successful when she gets off it. So, she's just bringing it down. And that's all I have to say about her. So, fingers crossed she doesn't get fired, but it doesn't look good for her right now. If that many people have signed it this far. I mean, people want it off the show. I don't think even Danielle Staub got, people signing to kick her off the show. So it just tells you how hated she is. And you know what? She does say stupid comments, and it is probably wrecking Bravo, and it is wrecking the show's reputation. So I really hope they do get rid of Brandi, and yeah, I think 100% Carlton's gone. I don't think Yolanda will stay because she is boring, let's be honest. She is super boring. And you know what? The only time she gets interesting is always at the end of the season so she can stay in for another season. And you know what? She's moved out of her cool house, and apparently she's moving into a small house. So no, I don't want to see you anymore. And, I'd love to see Joyce. And I think we might see Joyce because if Kyle and Lisa are going to be in it, I mean, they're all talking. I mean, every single housewife this season, they've said they're leaving, or like they have all had rumors that all of them are leaving. So it's all a normal playing field. Like anyone can get fired. Like Lisa might even, I don't think Lisa would be fired, but if Lisa quits, she can. So, I don't think Bravo would fire Lisa, but I think Lisa could quit. But I think if they get rid of most of the housewives, I think Lisa will return. Because if they bring Shiva back, Shiva is one of her friends. And, I think Kim will be back. If Kyle's back, Kim will be back. Even if it is just as a friend or a few guest spots. But the truth is, they can't change it too much. Like, they need to keep those 3 original housewives. Because that was, as much as people, might not like Kim, that was the reason the show was successful. Those 3 women and the other 3 women were the reason the show was such a big hit in the first place. So if you're going to change it up too much, it's not going to work. It really isn't. So you need to keep those 3 housewives. Keep Joyce because they're all going to be against Lisa, Kyle and Kim. So Joyce can be on Team Lisa and on Team Kyle. So it would be interesting to see them go back and forth. I'd like to see how that would work. So I'm excited for that, and I'll see you guys next week for part 2 of the reunion.